Okay, the recording is started. We have a quorum. I'd like to call the meeting to order. This is the meeting of the Parks and Recreation Commission for Wednesday, September 16th, 2020. The meeting is now in order. Before I start, I'd like to just welcome our newest member, Dylan O'Connor. Welcome, Dylan. Dylan grew up in town, with the Fairfield. I guess it was Fairfield High at that time, right?
Yeah, it was Fairfield High, way back in '95.
3 children. He's the co-president of the Stratford Village Association. We have approved some events up there for the Four Corners Project, so he's involved there. He's also the president of the board of a Harbor Light Foundation, which focuses on special programming for children with autism in Fairfield County. He also serves on the board of Fairfield Little League Girls Softball, and he's a coach for the boys baseball, the girls softball, and youth football. So very active in town. Welcome aboard, Dylan.
Thank you so much. Happy to be here, Scott.
Yeah. Dylan was sworn in on Monday and is taking over for Caitlin Schmidt, her term after she resigned. Okay, so moving along with our agenda, I'd like to, has everyone received an advanced copy of the minutes from our August 19th meeting?
Yes.
Yep. Okay. Are there any corrections to the minutes as distributed?
No.
Okay. Hearing no corrections, the minutes are approved as distributed. Thank you. Next up on our agenda is public input, which is to discuss any emails that were received prior to tonight's meeting. Kelly, as far as I know, we haven't received anything that doesn't relate to items already on our agenda. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, so there is no public input. Next up on our agenda is a new business to hear and act upon, a request from Gary and Ken Kopsko for a memorial bench in honor of their mother at Perry's Green. Are the Kopskos on the line?
I think he's calling here now. I don't know how I can answer this at the same time and not lose you. Let me run to another phone and see if he's having an issue.
Okay.
Hi, Secretary. Right. Are you calling the number that the instructions that I sent you? No. You have to call that number. So if you call that number right now, then it'll be on the line. Okay. Okay, he's going to call in now.
Okay.
Did not understand.
That's fine. I think we have time tonight. I wonder if we're going to hear him chime in, though.
You can't tell if somebody's coming in?
No, I don't hear it. It doesn't ding. Well,
yes. My name is Gary Kopsko. Gary Kopsko.
Well,
AOP.
Welcome, Gary. Yep.
I thought it was a recording. Okay. Yes.
Nope.
Hello.
You're on. Okay, so we're at the point on our agenda where we're considering your request to place a memorial bench down on Perry's Green. I understand that your original request was for a space down at South Benson, but Anthony, there was an issue with no space for an additional bench.
Yes.
That's correct.
Okay, and then with regard to Perry's Green, are there any restrictions as to what we can put down there?
I'd actually have to defer that one to, I don't know if Mary knows that offhand. I'd have to do some research.
Let me speak for a moment, and I think this Perry's Green was given to the town of Fairfield many years ago, and there is no doubt in my mind that there's a deed of gift somewhere. and the town clerk can find it for you. And you better check that to make sure that I'm seeing only 3 benches there, and I've never seen more than 3 benches there. And so the only thought I have is it is similar to the deed of gift, or similar to the arrangements made with the neighbors and everybody when the lower wharf was taken over by the town, and only 3 benches are permitted there too, and that made me wonder about Perry's Green. So I think it would be a good idea to check. I'm happy to do it if you want me to, but I didn't want to mess in with the boss.
Yeah, no, Mary, it's Anthony. I appreciate that. I don't mind following up with the town clerk. I'm sure she could pull that information for me pretty quickly tomorrow morning. If it is deeded and we're not allowed to put more than 3 benches there, I mean, an alternative location down there too is also Yee Yacht Yard. I don't know if that's a spot they might be interested in, but there may be space there that we could use too.
Okay. All right. So, Mr. Kopsko, this is a pretty straightforward request, and we do entertain these and do approve these requests all the time, or most of the time. And we just may have this a deed restriction in place that we'll have to check, but there's no reason that we can't consider your request and take action on it this evening, subject to Anthony confirming what we can and can't do down there.
Okay.
Is that reasonable? Is that reasonable for you?
Oh, absolutely. Yes. I mean, sure, I understand, and you sounds like you'll probably find that out within a day or 2.
Yeah. Okay. Does anybody else have any questions on the request to place a memorial bench down in Perry's Green?
I have a thought. I walked by there Friday night on my way to someplace else, and I noticed one of the benches looked like it needed repairs or something. I was wondering if it could be repaired or replaced and still keep the 3. And then they could do it. I don't know if there's anything about a memorial bench that's anything anybody would complain about. So at any rate, you might ask the town clerk to check that in the deed as well. Okay?
I can look into that. Yep.
Yeah, okay. All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right. Anyone care to make a motion?
I will move that the Kopskos be given the space to put a bench at Perry's Green, with the understanding that after a deed of gift has been read and it has been determined that that is allowed under the terms of the deed of gift.
Okay. That's fair. Is there a second?
I'll second Jessica.
Thank you, Jessica. There is no public on the call as far as I know. All right. What we're going to do here, and Dylan, how we do this is I just do a roll call and ask for yeas and nays on our votes. So we're going to do it in order. So there's a motion before the commission. There's no further discussion. So going around, Brian Nero, yay or nay?
Yay.
Mary Von Conta, yay or nay?
Yay.
Jessica Gerber, yay or nay?
Yay.
David Weber, yay or nay? Yes. Chris McCoy, yay or nay?
Yay.
Bridget McBride, yay or nay?
Yay.
Jamie Benton, yay or nay?
Yay, but I hope I'm not out of order, but do we want to consider approving a secondary location in case? That way he doesn't have to come back?
You are out of order in the fact that we're taking the vote right now.
I was waiting for you to call for discussion, so I apologize. So,
I'm
yay.
sorry. Then if that's the case, then I've erred. I did not think there was further discussion. How do you unwind that one? Let me finish the roll call. Dylan O'Connor, yay or nay?
Yay.
Okay. All right. So now we just approved this, and we can certainly reconsider it. So, Jamie, why don't you state your concerns with regard to the location, and if we have to, we can reconsider what we've just approved.
Yeah, so my only thought was if we find that we can't put a third bench there for whatever reason, would we want to approve a secondary site while the requester's on the line? That way they can just go forward with the bench as is without having to come back, unless that's something they don't have to do if we're approving. But I assume the approval is a site-specific.
Well, if we did approve it site-specific to Perry's Green,
again, I think it's up to the requester. So if they would like us to consider approving a second site, otherwise then they would just have to come back next month.
If the second site would be a Yee Yacht Yard?
Maybe.
Yeah, Anthony, you have an opinion on that?
Yeah, and this is Anthony. That would be my recommendation if Perry's Green's not available. I was just trying to keep it within that area. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that would be fine.
So, I'm sorry, just say that again. You're saying you're trying to keep it in that general area. Is that still considered Perry's Green?
No, it's not. That would be Yee Yacht Yard.
Okay, that's further down. Okay, so if we want to, Mr.
Well, I can't.
No, you can't withdraw it because we've approved it. Once it came before the commission. It was ours, so you can't withdraw it. But quickly we can move to reconsider, amend, and then reapprove. So that's the quickest way to do it. So if someone wants to make a motion to reconsider, we can do that right now.
All right. You want me to do that?
Yeah. So you're the first on the motion to reconsider.
Yes.
Is there a second on the motion to reconsider?
I'll second.
All right, that's Jamie, and we'll go with Jamie on this one for the second. All right. Is there any objection to the reconsideration? We'll cut to the chase here. No. Okay, no. So that's a blanket approval from everyone. Okay, so now the motion is back before us for further action. So what you want to do, Jamie, is move to amend the motion to include Yee Yacht Yard.
Yes.
Okay. Kelly, you clear on that? How that is going to read? There's an amendment. All right. So now the amendment.
Excuse me, but that should say that if Perry Green is not available, in case Perry Green is not available, then he will find a spot for it. A spot will be found at Harbor at Yee Yacht Yard.
Right.
Okay.
I think that's implied.
Yeah, I know, but
okay.
I live near there. Okay.
Yep. So it's we understand the motion to be approval of the memorial bench at Perry's Green, if available. If not, at Yee Yacht Yard.
Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect.
That is the okay. Is there a? I guess I just introduced that. Well, we're going to go with Jamie introducing the motion. So Jamie, that's your first. Is there a second to Jamie's motion as I stated it?
Second.
Second from Mary. Okay. Sorry about this. Any further discussion on the amendment? Okay. Going around, Brian Aroux.
Yay.
Mary Von Conta.
Yes. Yay.
Jessica Gerber.
Yay.
David Weber. Yes. Chris McCoy.
Yes.
Bridget McBride.
Yay.
Jamie Benton.
Yes.
Dylan O'Connor. And back to me on the yay. All right. So, okay, thank you. All right. So now the amended motion is back before us. Is there any further discussion on the amended motion? Okay. Back to the top. Brian, yay, nay?
Yay.
Mary?
What was that question again? Is there any?
This is now. Yes. We have.
No more discussion.
No, there's no more discussion, right? So right now we amended the motion. Now the amended motion is back before us for final approval, right? So do you approve the motion as amended?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. David?
Yes.
Chris?
Yes.
Bridget? Did we lose Bridget?
Sorry,
Lost
yes.
Bridget. Yeah, okay. Jamie Benton?
Yes.
And Dylan?
Yes.
Okay. The motion is approved. There we go. Thank you for working with me on that one, Mr. Kopsko. Congratulations. Good luck with your placement, and hopefully it winds up at Perry's Green. Thank you for joining us.
Yes, thank you very much. Have a good evening now.
You too. Take care.
Bye.
Okay. Next up, we're moving on to reports. The Board of Education report. Jessica?
Okay. School started back up again on September 8th. So we have students attending school in the buildings. We also have other students who are doing remote learning. And we have some teachers who are doing remote teaching. Basically our hybrid program, which is what we went with for a number of different reasons, primarily regarding social distancing measures, is that our high schools and middle schools have two different cohorts that each attend school in person full day, 2 days a week, so Monday, Thursday, Tuesday, Friday. All students are remote on Wednesdays. And then for elementary school, we have two cohorts as well, except in this case we have AM and PM cohorts, which mean that half the students attend in the morning, half the students attend in the afternoon, 5 days a week. And the decision to do things differently for K through 5 or pre-K through 5 was a lot to do with just having that continuity for younger students, that having them in the building every day, even for a shorter period of time, was considered to be preferable. Obviously, there have been some, bumps along the way, but I would say overall, after 1 week back in our buildings or online learning, that things are going well. There are obviously a lot of adjustments that will need to be made moving forward, and the superintendent and his staff are continuing to stay on top of that, developing professional development for staff, and also, open to hearing from parents and students if they have concerns as they move ahead. Obviously, there have been a lot of costs associated with this plan. We need PPE. We have additional cleaning that is taking place, additional transportation as well. So that is something that the district is keeping an eye on. I had mentioned back in June or July that there is a non-lapsing account that was set up through an MOU with the Board of Finance back in June. This was due to our having a lot of savings when we went all remote from March through June. So those savings were allowed to be put into this non-lapsing fund that moved from last year's budget to this year's budget to cover at least some of the expenses. And if and when we need additional, we will have to go back to the Board of Finance for additional funding. So we're just going to kind of play it by ear. That obviously this is all uncharted territory for everyone. And but, I think everyone, even though they were nervous, were really excited to see students were excited to see each other and their teachers. Teachers were thrilled to see each other and their students. Whether it was on a video screen or in person. And so I think we're just going to keep moving forward, and, hopefully we'll be able to continue to reevaluate and see where we are. We are going to be looking into the possibility of being able to be back in schools 5 days a week, all students, for those who choose. And again, as in earlier on, that we would still have the ability for students and staff for medical reasons to be able to opt out and do all remote learning. So that's something that we're going to be discussing at our Board of Ed meeting next week, and a decision may be made in the next week or so to go back 5 days, or it may be decided to kind of hold on, keep in the hybrid for now, and reevaluate in 1, 2, 3 weeks, a month, just kind of depending on the situation. If we get increased cases of COVID in town or in the schools. So far we don't have any. So just a lot of unknowns. And, as with everything that happened in the spring, I think we just need to really be flexible about this. And like I said, we're meeting this coming Tuesday. We did meet in person for the first time last week. It was a little surreal. We were all spaced apart in their own separate tables with masks on. Public did not attend. They could watch on Fair TV or call in. And the plan, I believe, is to meet in person again over at Board of Ed offices because the room that we're in is large enough that it can accommodate the 9 board members and the superintendent sitting at separate tables with a very limited number of staff who kind of come in and out depending on their the presentations that they're making. And again, no members of the public are attending in person. So I think that's it.
Okay. Any questions from anyone?
Jessica, how about the before and after school programs? Are those all canceled or they're still up and running?
No, there are some before and after school programs, and actually I would say also we've been working, the district worked with Wakeman, and they also have set up not so much before and after school early, I don't believe, but, for the AM cohort, they can go to Wakeman in the afternoons when they're supposed to be doing their virtual learning, and the PM cohort can go to Wakeman in the morning and then go to their elementary school in the afternoon for classes. And I do believe there are some before and after school programs as per usual at the individual buildings. I think it kind of depends on the building though. And I do think that there were some other options that we were trying to look at to help parents, fill in those gaps for the elementary students.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Any other questions? Okay. Thank you, Jessica. Moving along. Don't go too far.
Yep.
Next is to hear and act upon the tree committee report. So you're up.
Okay. So the tree committee has met a couple of times since our last Parks and Rec Commission meeting, and I did send all the information to Kelly, and I know that she provided it for all of you. So basically we sent you the calendar that we put together for the coming year, and also I gave you all of the submissions that we received, the emails from the different organizations. So this is pretty self-explanatory. Obviously, the Fairfield Equity Coalition and the Pink Pledge you already knew about because that was discussed in last month's meeting. Moving ahead for November, we were recommending having the Police Athletic League. Then December is Al's Angels coming in for the month of December and part of January. We did not put anyone in the second half of January, nor did we have anyone for February, but that could change. We're thinking that perhaps if there's some interest, once people understand about the program or see the lights on the tree, that they may make inquiries, in which case then we could have somebody fill in for February. March would be St. Baldrick's. April, the Center for Family Justice. This is Child Abuse Awareness Month. They had submitted a few different months that they were requesting, so this was one of them. Then May is the Fairfield Cares Mental Health Awareness Month. June, we went back to the Center for Family Justice that they were saying that they were recommending putting on rainbow lights because for June is Pride Month. And then July is the Pan Mass Challenge. And then we don't have anyone for August as of now, but since that is almost a full year away, again, we may have other organizations, approaching us asking to be a part of this. So if that happens, we will meet and discuss and then bring that recommendation to the commission.
Okay. That's great. You guys did a ton of work in a short period of time.
Yeah, no, it worked out really well. So, and I don't know if Chris or Bridget has anything to add, but we worked really very efficiently.
Chris or Bridget, anything?
I'm with Jessica. There's not much more to say. She's done a great job. Bridget's done a great job. I think we're all excited.
Now, Jessica, if I can ask, I don't think submitting the calendar requires our approval. Do you agree with that, or are you looking for us to approve?
Well, I think that the motion that we made did require Parks and Rec Commission approval. I don't know if it has to be a formal vote, or just a sense of the body, or just a thumbs up. But I did think that that was part of what we had discussed when we originally came up with this idea. And I'm just looking for the motion that we made, and I'm having trouble finding it here. But so that was my only thing, is that we just, first of all wanted to share this with you, but also just wanted to, maybe have some sort of recognition that this was something that everyone in the commission was okay with.
Fair enough, then. That's then we'll take a vote on it.
Okay.
Anyone care to make a motion to approve the calendar as submitted by the subcommittee?
So move.
Okay, first is by Mary. Is there a second?
I'll second. Jamie.
That was Jamie. Okay, thank you, Jamie. Okay, the motion is now before the commission. Is there any further discussion on the motion?
Hey, Scott, this is Dylan. Can I have I think a brief understanding of what the Tree of Hope is, but can someone just give me a 30,000-foot view of, is it the tree on Sherman Green?
It is, yes. And we'll pass this back to Jessica to explain.
Yes. Yes. So basically, just a little less than a year ago, last October, Al DeGuido, who owns Saugatuck Suites and has the Al's Angels charity, came to the Parks and Rec Commission asking if he could donate the tree to the Sherman Green and put lights up for the month of December. And so that was approved by the commission at that time. He put the lights up for December and part of January, and then the lights came down. Then once COVID hit, Al asked if he could light the tree just because things were kind of dark downtown and it would be cheerful when people were driving through. So the lights went back up on the tree and were there for a few months. Then once things started kind of coming out of COVID, the lights were going to be coming down, and it came to, the commission was aware of this, and, I think I and a few other members thought that it might be a good idea to kind of open it up and allow other organizations in town, because you've got so many great charities and organizations that work with children and families, which was kind of the focus of what Al was looking at, to have them have the opportunity to take a month or so and to be able to light the tree perhaps in the colors that represent their organization. So we formed a tree subcommittee back in July, and that's Chris McCoy and Bridget McBride and myself. We've met a number of times. We had a couple of requests that came in really quickly for September and October, and then the remainder we went over and then are now presenting to the full commission. So September and October have already been approved or given the thumbs up by the commission, and now we have the rest of the year. And, I guess the plan is just to, moving forward, get other requests from other organizations and maybe mix it up a little bit from year to year, or some months may stay the same if the organization wants to come back in a year. So I think we're just going to kind of play that by ear.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions?
I had one other comment that maybe we want to think about only having the calendar go out a year, just because things change, and maybe run it out 12 months, and then or with some kind of time frame on it.
Yeah, Jamie, I think that's kind of where we're at.
Okay.
Basically, the idea was to fill up the first 12 months and kind of have a moving goal line going forward.
That sounds good.
Right. And, and obviously, like I said, we have a couple of months here that have blanks. So, perhaps if somebody approaches us, that we would, consider it and then bring it to the commission. But otherwise, our plan is to probably not meet as a committee, moving forward until we either get additional requests or until we're coming up into maybe next summer about when we first started meeting to kind of look for, 21, 22.
Okay.
I think the ultimate assumption, too, is that we'll have, the idea is to have 12 different lightings with 12 different organizations. That could be a year away from now, but that's kind of the goal.
Yeah.
May I ask a question?
Yeah.
Scott?
Of course, Mary. Yeah, go ahead.
Jessica how have you published the information about this tree? Have you been able to get it out fairly broadly or not?
Well, I did write a press release, and I sent it to a number of different organizations. When Bridget and Chris and I first met, we kind of brainstormed and came up with a list of organizations. So I sent the press release out to those organizations. I also did send it out to the Patch and the Citizen News as well. And so based on that outreach, we heard back from these organizations, which almost filled the year, with a couple of spots open. And again, right now I think both the Patch and the Citizen News may be doing a follow-up piece about this. I sent them the pictures. I sent the commission from the Fairfield Equity Coalition, who had the little ceremony down at the Green on Saturday. And so they were going to maybe put something in the paper talking about that. So that may generate some additional interest as well as throughout the course of the year when people go down to the Green and they see, the sign-up talking about the organization that's lighting the tree for the month. They may be interested and then reach out, to ask about participating as well.
Yeah, I was just curious how you did that, but I think people will certainly notice the lighted tree and the sign.
Yeah.
So they will. That'll be good. That's great. Okay.
And Mary, one other thing that we're working on as well is during the first selectman meeting. The idea is to open up the meeting and have them make mention, because these are publicly recorded meetings, of what organization is taking over for that month and the good that organization does. So you kind of generate some grassroots.
Yes,
right.
That would be excellent.
And then one other thing, and I don't know if Anthony, this would be something that you and Kelly might be able to do, that we also discussed at our last meeting, would be to have this each month when a new organization comes in, if there could be something on Parks and Rec, different social media sites, on Facebook and Instagram, just saying, this month, the Fairfield Equity Coalition is lighting the Tree of Hope on Sherman Green. Check it out when you're in the area or something like that. So that would just be another way to get the word out.
Yep, I can share the article that was on the post today, too. We can definitely get our staff to do that.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, call for the vote. Brian Nareau, we're approving the calendar. Right. So Brian?
Yay.
Yep. Okay.
Yay.
Mary?
Yes.
Jessica?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Chris?
Yes.
Okay. Bridget? Bridget, we lose you?
Yeah.
Okay. Yay, okay. Jamie?
Yes.
Dylan?
Yay.
Okay, and back to me. Yes. Okay, so your calendar's approved. Well done. That's a lot. That really is a ton of work you guys did in a short period of time. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Really well done.
I think it'll be great. So but thank you, everyone.
Okay. Next up is the director and program reports. Anthony, it's all yours.
Yep, everybody should have received a copy earlier today. Not too much really going on with our department right now. All our youth programs and adult programs for the fall are really scaled back. We've got some yoga taking place, children and adult yoga, art classes, language classes. I think there's one computer class. Those are all taking place at our Penfield Pavilion. Both Penfield and Jackie Durrell are closed at least through October, more likely through January. But as of right now, we've canceled everything through October. Youth soccer started this past weekend. Again, we are probably at a quarter of the registrations that we normally have. We're normally in the neighborhood of about 1,600 to 1,800 kids playing in that for each season, and we're around 500 or 600 right now. So numbers are significantly down. And again, it is due to COVID. We understand that fully, but disappointing nonetheless. Currently, we're working with the emergency management team, planning team, to try to discuss our fall and winter special events, the historical stuff, like our tree lighting, our breakfast with Santa, all of those types of events that we know will not take place in any fashion that we all remember them as. So staff has been brainstorming different ways to make those still happen, make them fun and memorable. So we just have to get the blessing from the emergency team before we can start advertising and moving forward with those things. The emergency team right now has pretty much taken a stance of no large-scale events in the town of Fairfield on public property. So, that's all the drive-in movies, concerts, things of that nature. As of September 5th, which was our last concert, we were told, nope, no more concerts, no more big events. So the things that you're seeing, the comedy nights that are taking place over at the Fairfield, the Circle Inn, those are on private property taking place. I think Sacred Heart is doing a big drive-in movie this upcoming Friday, again, private property. So the town's discouraging that kind of stuff, but other places are still doing them. So it is extremely frustrating. But, it is, our numbers in Fairfield are some of the lowest in the state as far as COVID cases go and rate of infection. So the town is, trying to keep that up, especially with the two universities opening back up with students on campus and schools opening back up. We want to make sure those things stay open. As far as the projects I mentioned last month, with the town administration, we had a really good meeting with the neighborhoods of Hillcrest Road, which is right next to Tomlinson Tennis Court. There's 19 houses there, and I want to say all 19 had a representative attend the meeting, which was really nice. So we were able to get some feedback, explain what we're trying to do with the tennis courts, and just get some buy-in from the neighbors and let them know that, we don't want to just jam this through. We want to work with them and put something there that they're going to be proud of and, happy with. So that work, the tree work there should begin next week, and then the actual construction will start shortly after that. And then the second project, which is completed, was the installation of the 8-foot fence around the Jennings Beach Skate Park, increasing it from 4 feet to 8 feet. So that did finish yesterday. I think I have one more gate that's going to need to be added, but other than that, it is back open. Skate park is back open. School's in session, so we're just at our school hours right now. And then other than that, again, I have to just continue to thank my staff for their flexibility and the job that they've done trying to get COVID programming out there and just how creative they're being. So really happy with them and happy to take any questions if you have any.
Okay, thank you. Any questions from anyone?
Anthony, the Halloween downtown on the Green, is that still going forward or not?
No, definitely will not happen.
No.
I don't think that'll happen. I don't think Santa's Arrival will happen. None of the pop-up markets, all that stuff has already been canceled.
Bad.
Well, they're worried
Anything
about
else?
the flu in combo with the pandemic. So they're doing the safest thing they can.
Yep.
I understand.
Anthony, this is Bridget. I had a quick question about the tennis courts. Someone had just asked me, and I wasn't sure what the answer was, about just renting time just to play tennis like on their own, not through lessons. What's the protocol? Is it still the same? Like you can book 2 hours, 7 days out?
Yep, exactly. And if they're a resident, they could either do that right online or they can give our office a call and we can do it over the phone.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else? All right. Next up is just the good of the order. So, Jessica, I know you said the Board of Ed is meeting in person again, but Anthony, is there any direction from the town with regard to boards and commissions, or are we going to keep doing this remotely for the time being?
So the last I had heard was only about 2 weeks ago. We were told that all boards and commissions were all going to continue to meet virtually and that there would be no in-person meetings. So the news of the Board of Ed meeting in person is actually news to me tonight. So I could address it with the administration and find out if their stance has changed.
No, that's fine. Just wanted to ask. So, okay, so everyone will plan on doing this again via phone in October unless directed otherwise by Anthony. Anything else we want to discuss? All right. Well, thank you very much. We're going to adjourn the meeting. I'll stop recording now, and then welcome Dylan to the Parks and Rec Commission.
Thank you very much. Looking forward to being involved.
Welcome, Dylan.
Okay, bye-bye.
All right. Thank you.
Take care, all. Be safe.
Have a good night. Thanks.